Hello and welcome to HITC Sport, and on Sunday night Bayern Munich won the longest Champions League ever. It took more than a year to complete, but it was Bayern who conquered in a new location of Lisbon, beating PSG 1-0 in the final. The win completed an incredible treble for the Bavarians, who have been relentless this year under Hansi Flick. He's got an incredible blend of both youth and experience, but where were he and all his players 5 years ago? Let's take a look. Manuel Neuer, Bayern Munich. I mean, of course Neuer was still at Bayern 5 years ago. It feels like he's been the number one at the Allianz longer than most of us have been alive. Okay, it's only been since 2011, but whatever. 5 years ago Neuer was at the top of his game. A year earlier he came third in the Ballon d'Or, he won the World Cup, he was the best goalkeeper in the world. But he's had his doubters recently, and combined with a lengthy injury, he's had to prove a lot of people wrong this season. That's exactly what he's done though, making some elite saves in the Champions League final to keep out Neymar and Mbappe. Fun fact time, Neuer won €500,000 for charity in 2011 on the German version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? NIKLAS SULE, Hoffenheim. 3 trophies and a horrendous injury, what a season it's been for this man. Had it not been for the whole global pandemic, he'd have missed Bayern's Champions League triumph. But with the tournament delayed, he was able to recover and actually play in the final when Jerome Boateng limped off with an injury. So at least some good came out of the virus. Personally, it's allowed me to play a lot of Football Manager, which I am eternally grateful for. Try it out on Alexpo, cheap plug. But 5 years ago Sule was just a teenager at 19 years old and still with Hoffenheim, and interestingly, he was just recovering from another horrible ACL injury. Benjamin Pavard, Lille. The curly-haired Frenchman didn't appear in the final and missed the majority of the mini-Champions League due to injury, but this is Pavard's first taste of European success. Not that he doesn't know a thing or two about success, he was a key component for France in 2018 at the World Cup. Christ, I'll never forget that goal against Argentina, what a strike. But 5 years ago Pavard was still playing in France at the age of 19, just bringing into the Lille team like so many stars have done in the past. Jerome Boateng, Bayern Munich. It's been a weird few years for Jerome Boateng. He's had so many injuries it's frightening, and he's looked done at times, with talk of him actually leaving Bayern. But ironically it was injuries to other players that got him back into the team this season, although he would leave the pitch early in the final because of injuries, so there is that. 5 years ago Boateng was of course a Bayern player, winning trophies under Pep Guardiola. I wonder what happened to that guy. JAVI MARTINEZ, Bayern Munich. An unused substitute on Sunday, JAVI MARTINEZ has been one of the more low-key Bayern players in recent years, but a real success story of the Guardiola era. Capable of playing in midfield or defence, JAVI MARTINEZ has been with Bayern since 2012 and has pretty much won it all in his career. HERNANDEZ, ATLETICO Madrid. Whether it's centre back or left back, HERNANDEZ knows how to defend. That's why Diego Simeone rated him so highly, and he was so good when he left last summer, so much so that he said his departure was worse than Griezmann's. But 5 years ago Hernandez was just brilliant at the first team at Atleti as a teenager, which is no mean feat when you consider the quality of defenders they've had in years gone by. He's just completed his first season with Bayern after his €80 million move, and he's already got 3 medals to his name. I think it's fair to say he made the right decision. ALPHONSO DAVIES, Whitecaps residency. He's so good you forget that ALPHONSO DAVIES is still only 19 years old. That means that 5 years ago he was just 14. A little bit of maths there for all you number fans out there. Anyway, 5 years ago Davies was still just a teenager in Canada, being polite to people, collecting Pokemon cards and probably watching the hockey. But he also signed with Whitecaps residency in 2015, the academy set up for MLS side Vancouver Whitecaps. 5 years on, he's Bayern Munich's rampaging left back with pace to burn, still giving Nelson Semedo nightmares after that fateful night in Portugal. Oh, and he's also got a YouTube channel, so maybe we can collab sometime, Alphonso. Hit me up on Twitter, I'm at HITCJames. David Alaba, Bayern Munich. I mean, he's just an absolute class act, isn't he? I love watching David Alaba, he's like the second coming of Philip Lahm. It doesn't matter where you put him on a football pitch, he'll do a job for you, and a fine one at that. 5 years ago he was in his 5th year as a Bayern Munich player, and just like 5 years ago, he's still the greatest player Austria have got. Who else did Austria have? Hitler? He was Austrian. Volta? He's Austrian and all, and less World War II. Josh Kimmich, Bayern Munich. 5 years ago, Josh Kimmich had only just joined Bayern Munich. He was 20 years old, set to work under Pep Guardiola, having agreed a deal to join them in January. 5 years on, he's just played a key role in a sensational treble for Bayern Munich. He would help win the Bundesliga title with that delightful chip against Borussia Dortmund, one that was better than the ones you would get down the seafront on a warm afternoon. And then he set up the winner in the Champions League final against PSG with a wonderfully measured cross to find Kingsley Coman. THIAGO ALCANTARA, Bayern Munich. The man who may join Liverpool this summer, THIAGO has had a great Bayern career no matter what happens in the coming weeks. But 5 years ago he was just re-finding his feet after a year-long injury, and he also got married. I just hope he didn't give his wife his Champions League medal as a belated anniversary gift. Just stick the flowers and a nice meal out, THIAGO, keep it simple. CORENTIN Lyon. A late substitute in the final against PSG, the best is surely yet to come in a Bayern shirt from Tolisso, especially if THIAGO leaves the club this summer. Tolisso's first season with Bayern in 2017 was brilliant, but in 2015 he was still at Lyon alongside the likes of Nabil Fekir and Alexandre Lacazette. Tolisso was solidifying himself as a goal-scoring midfielder in France and was rewarded with a big new contract that summer until 2020. Obviously, since now he's at Bayern, he didn't honour that contract. Terrible. Leon Goretzka, Schalke. 5 years ago he had arms the size of twigs. SpongeBob SquarePants would have bigger muscles, and he's a sponge. And a TV character. But in 2020, now with Bayern Munich, Goretzka is an absolute beast. He's bulked up and can match the physical demands of playing for Bayern Munich, which is why he's developing into a key player. 5 years ago he was still with Schalke, where he was battling consistent injuries as well as being diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease. Nasty stuff. The poor bloke had to stop eating bacon and nuts. That's no way to live. Michael Cuisance, Nancy. A Champions League winner in his first season, Cuisance didn't play a single minute of the competition, yet the 21-year-old still got himself a medal. But he did play 9 times in the Bundesliga, so at least he did earn that medal. 5 years ago he was just 16 and was yet to make his professional debut, still a part of the Nancy Academy. 2017 he would head to Germany with Borussia Mönchengladbach, who gave him his first taste of senior football straight away. Serge Gnabry, West Brom on loan. You probably don't know this, I doubt it's ever came to your attention, but I'm about to blow your mind. Serge Gnabry used to play for West Brom. Not only that, but Tony Pulis never even played him. 5 years ago Gnabry was a gunner and was sent out on loan to West Brom, where he would only make 1 Premier League appearance. 5 years on and he's a Champions League winger, a sensational player and one who makes Arsenal fans shake their fists with anger every time they see him. As for Tony Pulis, I doubt he really cares. Kingsley Coman, Juventus. The match winner on Sunday night, a lot has been said about Kingsley Coman in recent days. People have been reeling off his honours with PSG, Juventus and Bayern, but let's be honest, it's only really Bayern where he's truly contributed. At PSG he was about as useful as a box of toffee at a diabetes convention. 5 years ago at the time of recording he was a Juventus player, but not for much longer. On August 30th 2015 he would leave Turin and join Bayern Munich on a 2-year loan deal. The rest, as they say, is history. Ivan Perisic, Wolfsburg. In his final game for Munich, Ivan Perisic won the Champions League. It's not a bad way to go out, is it? I mean, it might not be his final game for Bayern of course, but it seems likely that they're going to sign him permanently now that they've signed Leroy Sané as well. But Perisic is still a top player, and 5 years ago he was on the brink of a big move. At the time of recording he was a Wolfsburg player in 2015, but was just days away from joining a European giant in Inter Milan. That's where he'll return to this summer, where he'll have a fight on his hands to get into Antonio Conte's side of Premier League misfits. Joshua Zirkzee, ADO Den Haag. I mean, he was only 14, there's not really a lot of information on what Josh Zirkzee was doing 5 years ago. He was probably down the park with his mates being angsty and listening to Enter Shikari, something like that. But he was also in the Den Haag Academy, and 5 years on he's a treble winner with Bayern Munich, and even got to play in the Champions League unlike Cuisance. Thomas Muller, Bayern Munich. Thomas Muller's just an odd bloke, isn't he? He doesn't look like a footballer, he doesn't move like a footballer, yet he's just so effective either behind the striker or coming in from the right. 5 years ago he was with Bayern Munich, and I think come the end of his career he'll be a one-club man. Philippe Coutinho, Liverpool. A substitute in the final, Coutinho is another player leaving Bayern after his loan deal, returning the club he helped embarrass the other night. Christ, it's going to be awkward when he walks back into the dressing room. But 5 years ago Coutinho was still a Liverpool player, and now the main man after Suarez, Gerrard and Sterling all left in the space of about 12 months. And almost 5 years to the day he got sent off for 2 yellow cards against West Ham, the third red of his career. Robert Lewandowski, Bayern Munich. 5 years ago Robert Lewandowski was scoring lots of goals. 5 years on and he's scoring even more goals. That's literally all he does. He's a goal scoring machine and a man that's been completely robbed out of the Ballon d'Or this year. Hashtag justice for Lewandowski. Hansi Flick, German FA Sporting Director. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Incredibly, this is the first time Hansi Flick has been a manager since leaving Hoffenheim in 2005. Since then he's always been second in command and was Jürgen Lohr's assistant in Germany between 2006 and 2014. After winning the World Cup he became the German FA's sporting director, a role he held until 2017. And now in the year 2020, he's won the treble as Bayern boss, being hailed as an overnight success and now one of the best managers in world football. So that's where Bayern Munich's treble winning side were 5 years ago. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to HITC Sport, and until next time, we'll see you around.